Dear Pats Nation, it's just about time. Yeah, we're back. You know it's Dear Pats Nation. Nation. Yeah. It's Dear Pats Nation. Nation. Come on. Yeah, it's Dear Pats Nation. And the show starts in 3, 2, 1, go.
What's going on? I don't know if everybody saw that. I was changing my lighting just as the song went. And the show starts in 3, 2, 1, go. And I came flying back in my seat. I have an injured back, and that hurt like hell. What's going on, Dear Pats Nation? It's your boy, Donnie O'Donnell. No, it's your boy, Ray Rout. Toronto's pride and joy. You're welcome. Of course, I'm with the resident angry nerd, Mr. Boston Mike. Big news. Mike, you shift to the right. There we go. Get you nice and framed there.
Let's do this. There we go.
Big news for the peeps out there. Next week for about 15 minutes, we're going to have my boy and podcast partner over on When the Music Matters, Army Chris, coming on. Kansas City Chiefs fan. But I think Chiefs Ravens, pretty significant game in football. So he's going to come in next Monday to talk about whatever the hell happens next week.
Nice.
But today, if you're a New England Patriots fan, where do we start? What do we talk about? Mike, I'm going to give you my opinion. As you guys can see by the title, I said the Patriots lost, but the Steelers should have blown them out. And I don't know if anybody saw the little short that I put out on Twitter and TikTok and YouTube. And I said that whether you're a Patriots fan or a Steelers fan, nobody should have felt good about that game on Sunday. Nobody should. I mean, how the Steelers didn't absolutely blow out the Patriots is ridiculous. 5 turnovers. I'm going to go through the possessions, every single possession of the game on Sunday. The Patriots had the ball first. Fumble, Ramondre Stevenson. Steelers' second possession, touchdown. Patriots' next possession, punt. Steelers' second possession, touchdown. Patriots' third possession, touchdown. Steelers' third possession, punt. The Patriots' fourth and final possession of the first half is a 17-play for 7 minutes and 20-second drive all the way down to the Pittsburgh Steelers 1-yard line. And it ends in an interception. Halftime score is 14-7 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. An opportunity for it to be 14-14, but we go into the second half. Now, I was outside during halftime, and I was writing a little something to put up on Twitter. I actually posted it and deleted it because my wife came out and said, "You just missed an interception." I was late going back to the halftime. So the second half possession goes Steelers, interception by Robert Spillane. Did I say his name right? Spillane?
Yep, Spillane.
Underrated defensive player for the Patriots. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Him and Harold Landry, I believe, are the two most underrated players on the team. The Patriots get the ball. They get down to the goal line yet again. Chance to make it 14-14. And Butterfingers, Ramondre Stevenson, fumbles for the second time. The Steelers, on a touchback from that play, punt the ball. Patriots get it back. The Patriots' second possession of the second half, Antonio Gibson taking over for Butterfingers, fumbles the ball, and to add insult to injury, the football is recovered by none other than Jabril Peppers, a man who I believe should still be a Patriot. However, the Patriots defense balled out. The Steelers get the ball back, 3 and out, punt. Then the Patriots get the ball. Mike, 15 plays, 8 minutes and 44 seconds, touchdown. The Patriots tie the game. All right, this is the time now. The Steelers they're gonna do it, right? Nope. Punt. Patriots defense come out again. Patriots fourth possession. Fumble by Drake May. Fifth turnover of the game. Pittsburgh finally makes them pay. Touchdown, 21-14. Patriots go turnover on downs. Steelers go to victory formation. And the Pittsburgh Steelers win 21-14. I would have rather the Patriots lost by 45 points than lose the way they lost. And as I said at the top of the show, as I said on the short, you can't feel good. Once the euphoria of the win goes away, you can't feel good if you're a Steelers fan either, because they should have scored 40 points on 5 turnovers, 4 on the ground. I don't know where you want to start, Mike. Do you want to start with the defense, start with the positive? Do you want to start with Harold Landry and Robert Spillane, 2 guys who have been phenomenal for New England this season and were phenomenal yesterday? Do you want to talk about Drake May, fumble and interception? Do you want to talk about the Patriots coaching staff? I know you had an issue with the goal line play, but I would say debatable about what McDaniels did down there. But outside of that, I thought the coaching staff played.
Let's start here. And I think this is going to be a little bit of a controversial topic, and that's why I'm going to start here, and then maybe we hit the real quick positive. I blame Mike Vrabel for yesterday's loss. I don't blame Josh McDaniels. I don't blame Drake May. I'll give a small portion of the blame to Ramondre Stevenson. But at the end of the half yesterday and at the end of the game, Mike Vrabel mismanaged the clock, in my opinion. So at the end of the half, it seemed like they were too reluctant to use their timeouts. When you have a young team, an undisciplined team, a young quarterback, and a new offense, don't worry about the other team scoring. Take a timeout, settle your team down, and make sure you punch that ball in. It seemed like they were so afraid to use a timeout because they didn't want Aaron Rodgers to get back onto the field. And I blame Vrabel for Drake May's first interception, and I blame him sort of for that last turnover on downs. Because I think if you use a timeout there and settle them down, they convert, and they probably go down the field. I'll let you go.
That's an interesting opinion. I wish I could come back to you right now and argue it or agree with you. It was just, I'm kind of digesting what you said, because what you say makes sense. I agree with you that Vrabel is to blame, but for a different reason. Maybe I'll put it this way. I understand that at the end of the day, the Patriots have to perform. And I'm the first one to admit that if this was Bill Belichick, I would not be turning around saying this is Bill Belichick's fault. But what I will argue with you, I believe there will be a very rare case, if any, that you would see a Bill Belichick team fumble the ball 4 times and throw an interception and take 7 penalties. Now, you can argue with me that the officiating was bad, because it was. It wasn't great. I thought the Steelers' second touchdown was a gift of a holding call when they should have punted the football. However, I will say this. The Steelers had more penalties than the Patriots, so you can't say that it wasn't going both ways. So you can't blame the referees. They were both getting it. And there were some inopportune penalties at inopportune times for the Steelers that you could argue maybe were questionable.
Yep.
But when it comes to the Patriots, the argument that I will make is penalties, 7 penalties for 54 yards is not an uncommon stat line for New England.
No.
And guess what, guys? Referees watch games too. And they see what teams do, and they see teams that are penalized. And referees are more inclined to throw the flag on teams that are penalized more, or if they're noticed for something. I want to go back to, I believe it was the 2015 season. when Gronk got suspended after he dropped the elbow on Trey White in Buffalo?
Yeah.
What was going on with Gronk that year, though? Gronk was getting clutched and grabbed down the field with no calls, and he was getting called for holding over and over and over again.
Yep.
And he finally lost his patience. Well, Gronk was starting to get the reputation. Referees were seeing it. They were seeing the calls, seeing it on film, and it gets called. That's what happens. And when you're an undisciplined team, referees look for undisciplined teams.
Right.
I saw something on Twitter yesterday, and I think 3 games in, it's not unfair to make this comparison. I think there's other comparisons that are stupid, but it's not an unfair comparison. Somebody said, everybody blamed Gerard Mayo for the team being undisciplined, but it's just last season. But this season's been a complete carryover, and you can't argue with that.
It's been worse. They have like 3 times as many penalties.
Yeah, it's undisciplined play has been a complete carryover.
The undisciplined nature of last year started as the team got worse. In other words, as the record kind of continued to slide, the undisciplined favor or undisciplined attitude continued. This is what I will say, and I'm just going to close my thoughts off on this. I'll loop in the coaching thing that you mentioned with what I said about Vrabel, because I look at Vrabel as like the dad of this team more so than others. You have a young quarterback, young team. Again, we've talked about the roster turnover, how you've turned over more. You are the leader of this team. Your quarterback is not the leader of this team yet. So clearly the coaching needs to be better. And to me, again, those timeouts, that's a way to settle down your quarterback that clearly gets too amped up, right? Like, it's very clear when Drake May is too amped up. Stuff starts floating high. He passes very flat. Sometimes he starts passing off his back foot and he starts playing hero ball. They need to use some of these timeouts at some points, I think, especially in key moments like that, to calm him down. Now, you hope you won't have to in the future because you can kind of acclimate him to that standard and that environment. But again, just what I said before, and we can combine it with what you're saying as far as the undisciplined nature of the football team. I just wanted to close my thought out on that.
Let's talk a little bit about Drake May. If I told you he went 16 for 23, 139 yards, 2 touchdowns, interception, and a 96.1 passer rating, would you be happy or unhappy with that performance?
Oh, I'd be happy.
Okay, great, because that was Aaron Rodgers' performance. Drake May went 28 for 37 for 268, 2 touchdowns, interception, and a 102.1 passer rating yesterday.
Exactly.
And he took a lot of heat for the interception on X, a lot of it. And he should. He absolutely positively should. However, I'm sorry, everybody. That's a Tom Brady like stat line.
Yeah.
That's a Tom Brady stat line. Brady threw interceptions. Brady fumbled the football. It happens. Did he fumble it at the end of important games? No. I mean, Super Bowl, but I mean, that's, who's counting.
He was perfect for 20 years, Ray. Perfect. That's what everybody would have you believe now that the book's been written. Can I be real with you?
But what I'm saying is, I'm not going to turn around and blame Drake May for this.
No.
I thought Drake May played a great game.
He did. And the fumble was bad. It was bad because it was on first down. Again, that's coachable. I think, Vrabel mentioned it on his radio interview this morning. We need to, get him to realize that, the distance, and you don't need to play hero ball on every play. That was and I know this is going to drive people nuts, that was a very Mac Jones-esque single play yesterday. Mac felt like for that last year, he had like everything riding on every play, and that's when you saw him making really messy plays, a lot of fumbles, a lot of interceptions, and that was encapsulated, I think, in that one play yesterday. Drake go ahead.
Can I add to that, just to keep the point alive? I would actually almost argue that was a Josh Allen-like play 5 years ago.
I was going to go here later with this for all the naysayers. Do you want to do it now, or do you want to save it?
It's your call, because I already blew your tease. So
all right, so let's do this. Last night or yesterday kind of after I had been emotionally drained, we had been hit in the stomach, whatever you want to call it. I had to sit down and think about how I wanted to respond to this because I had one of my old school, like I was about to go on an angry rant to you kind of text message.
Well, I kind of got it. I could see the headspace you're in. I got a little bit of it.
Yeah. So, New England Patriots fans, we're dealing with Josh Allen in year 2. We need to understand we're on this roller coaster and just hope by year 3 or even later this year, he settles down. He realizes that he doesn't need to make a play on every single possession. And it's going to be painful at points. That's where we are.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. And I know it's very easy to pick on Ramondre Stevenson yesterday. And we will. I've got lots to say about Ramondre Stevenson. But Drake May was the Patriots' top rusher yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay. My boy, Travion Henderson, the home run hitter from Ohio State, he's not had a great start to his NFL career.
No.
I don't care what anybody says. And yesterday, they gave him 11 carries. He averaged 2.5 yards per carry on 11 carries. He got 28 yards. Antonio Gibson was averaging 4 per carry, but he fumbled. And Ramondre Stevenson was averaging 4.5. He rushed the ball 4 times and had 4 fumbles. 2 fumbles.
Yeah.
And that's an issue. With a young quarterback, you need an effective running game.
Yeah.
Drake May can't be your most effective runner.
No, that's a bad recipe.
Yeah, he's not Lamar Jackson, where you're going to want to just design these design runs all the time. I think having a few in your back pocket in a big moment, it's going to be crucial. I think what Josh McDaniels did with Drake May yesterday was brilliant. I think that the first couple of possessions, forget the fumble. The second possession, May was under pressure. The offensive line was not good yesterday. No. And they could not handle that defensive front of Pittsburgh. And a team that's been having an issue getting to the quarterback. I think they only recorded like 1 or 2 sacks, but they were going after Drake May a lot. He was under constant pressure. And Josh McDaniels recognized that. And he just put movement into Drake May's game. Everything was a rollout. Everything was movement. Everything was not just step up in the pocket. It was if you see lane, run, go, move. Look, I think McDaniels had a brilliant game yesterday. I really, outside of not running the ball on the goal line in the first half at least once. Yeah. But I mean, in fairness, he ran the ball in the second half and it ended up being a fumble. Yeah. So I mean, it could have been that result in the first half. But the way I also look at those situations too, Mike, it's really easy to nitpick one series in a game.
Because if he had made the pass,
he's a genius. Right. It's the whole Pete Carroll, Malcolm Butler interception.
Let's use this. The exact same pass to Demario Douglas last week that went for a touchdown. It was a floater by May. It wasn't a great pass. He still caught it, still got the touchdown. Nobody's really talking about it.
Correct.
So if Cam Hayward doesn't bat that pass, or if he sees an open Austin Hooper on the other side of him,
it's a different conversation.
Right. We're not talking about this. I'll give Josh McDaniels his flowers yesterday. That's one of the best games I've seen Josh McDaniels call in a while, minus, again, probably a run down by the goal line. And this is why I wasn't ready to kill Ramondre yesterday. And it happened before another one of his fumbles. I texted to you on a 4th and 1 on their own 15. They pitched it backwards, and Ramondre Stevenson breaks like 3 tackles to get like 7 yards or 10 yards?
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. And that's why, as much as and again, we're going to get to Ramondre Stevenson. They need to fix him. They need to fix him. They need to fix this problem that he has, because he is the other 2 backs complement what he does. It's not the other way around.
Let's do that then. Let's get right into Ramondre Stevenson, because I want to go back to his rookie season. I believe who was the other running back at that time? They had another.
Damian Harris.
They had Damian Harris. And I was a Damian Harris fan, as you know.
Yeah, good back.
Big power back.
Yeah.
I believe, Mike, and somebody may correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Ramondre Stevenson fumbled on his first play in the NFL, or like his second. It was the opening series. He fumbled.
It was around like his first
appearance as an NFL player.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I don't remember the exact details now.
It was against the Miami Dolphins. I remember that.
Yep.
And he's been fumbling the football ever since.
Yeah.
I don't think you can fix it. I don't think you can, Mike. I think that some guys just have ball security issues. And I think that Ramondre Stevenson is somebody with ball security issues. He led the league in fumbles last season. And he thought, well, if I don't work harder, I'm not going to achieve that again this year. And he worked really hard at it yesterday and fumbled it twice. When Ramondre Stevenson, we saw it against Miami last week. I mean, that guy can break tackles. He can go. We saw it again. You talk about that pitch play, which, by the way, I thought was a brilliant call by McDaniels. Everybody in the stadium was waiting for a tush push or something like that, and then he pitches it. And they did that twice where they pitched it, and it was just a brilliant, brilliant play. But to me, Ramondre Stevenson, I think I got to go back in the archives, back to the original rendition of Dear Pats Nation. And I'm pretty certain I was calling him a liability back then. And I can't change. I can't change my stance on now. And everybody in the world has been dumping on this kid. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to contribute to that. And I'm not going to sit here and go on the Ramondre Stevenson hate train. Mm-hmm. I think as a Patriots fan, as long as he's a Patriot, I have to accept the fact that you're going to get a Ramondre Stevenson who's going to fumble the football. And I'm going to compare this now to a defensive player. I was a big fan of Deatrice Weiss Jr.
Oh, boy. I know exactly where you're going.
I don't think that Deatrice Weiss Jr. was given enough respect for what he did for the Patriots, especially considering he kind of got brought in after Trey Flowers left. And, Trey Flowers is gone. And obviously Chandler Jones is gone. He becomes that outside, and Ninkovich is gone. He becomes that outside threat. Mm-hmm. And Deatrice Weiss Jr. disrupted a lot of offenses. However, you always knew we were due for a Deatrice Weiss Jr. penalty at some point in time. Yeah. Just some dumb. Mike, I need you to shift over just a little bit. You're right out of frame.
Sorry, I'm reading something on my other monitor to complement what you're saying. Nice. I'm doing some stat looking.
And I see the same in Ramondre Stevenson. He's going to have big games for you. But you can almost bet that at some point he's going to fumble the football. Now, maybe he fumbles it in the first quarter and it doesn't matter. And maybe sometimes he fumbles it on the goal line and it does matter. I, as a Patriots fan, don't want to live with that liability. I was much more comfortable living with Deatrice Weiss getting a penalty than I'm comfortable living with fumble liabilities. And this is when it goes back to the whole Mike Vrabel thing. Mm-hmm. I really believe, and I texted this to you, maybe I tweeted it. I can't remember. But if Bill Belichick was the coach, Ramondre Stevenson wouldn't have fumbled the second time because he wouldn't have been playing at that goal on that goal line.
No.
Right? And I think that this comes down to how undisciplined this team is. 5 turnovers, 4 of them being fumbles. You know what? Let's get rid of the interception because it happens. Every great quarterback throws an interception. Even Tom Brady, people.
No, it's perfect. Brady.
But 4 fumbles lost. Even if you want to take the Drake one out because Vrabel seems to be defending it. Fine. Young player, coach him. Ramondre Stevenson's not a young player. fumbling the ball twice.
No.
Guys like Moses taking penalties are not young players taking penalties. Will Campbell wasn't racking up the penalty yards for the Patriots. Onwenu, who's a veteran, got a ineligible man upfield call on a big play.
That was bad.
It was terrible. And Mike texted me and said, I hate that play. He wasn't even involved. I said, it doesn't matter. You can't do that as an offensive lineman. You got to know better. Yeah. And he knew it. You saw him trying to backpedal.
Yeah, he tried to backpedal.
He knew he got too far upfield. Like, to me, that was an RPO.
Yeah.
You see that happen on an RPO.
Yeah.
And I will admit to people, as an offensive lineman, I am so happy that RPO wasn't a thing when I played O-line, because it's got to be a nightmare to try to figure out. You basically got to run a pass blocking scheme on a potential run and whatever. To me, there's an undisciplinedness to this team when it comes to fumbles and penalties, and that falls squarely on the shoulders of Mike Vrabel. And you can talk about coach him up and do this and do that. And I read his thing about what he said about Ramondre Stevenson, that he still believes in him, and they're going to coach him up and they're going to get him, I'm not saying it's this vibe, Mike, but it's almost that vibe of, do you remember at the end of the year last year and the Patriots got smoked, and the reports where they were laughing and joking and dancing in the locker room, like nobody even cared that they lost. Like It was the lack of accountability on the team wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
When guys are fumbling footballs and they're given the opportunity to fumble another football in crucial situations, is either A, you don't have the players behind them and you don't trust the players behind them, or B, your team is an undisciplined team and you're not holding people accountable. Now, I'm not going to even pretend like I know the inner workings of the Patriots locker room. I can only talk about what I see on the field. I have no idea what Vrabel is saying to them, what's going on in the locker room, who's getting in trouble, who's not getting in trouble. But again, if the Patriots would have lost 45-0 yesterday, I would have came out today and said, Mike, did we really think this couldn't happen? We saw what the Steelers did to the Jets defense. This team is learning. We had this game marked as a loss. I want to talk about Drake May for a second. I told you week 1 that I'm gonna be judging this team week 14, week 17, not by whether they're winning or losing, but improvement. What I've seen from Drake May from week 1 to week 2 to week 3 is a constant learning.
Yep.
He looked better week 2 than he looked week 1. He looked, and they call that his best career game.
Mm-hmm.
I think yesterday could have been his best career game. And if it would have been a win and he didn't fumble the football, I think that people would have been saying it was the game of his career. He looked fantastic. He looked like an NFL quarterback. I actually had faith that they were going to drive down the field and tie up the game. And I haven't felt that in a New England Patriots team since 12 was our quarterback.
Can I tell you what I'm starting to have faith in, which I love, because I didn't have faith in this, and this speaks to Josh McDaniels and how I've kind of done a 180 on this, is I need to start understanding that this offense is competent, or expect them to be competent is a better way to put it, because at the very least, what I saw yesterday is a team that was down 2 scores and could have been down more. Thank you, defense. But the offense and the defense, they did not give up. This is a team for the last 3 years that just, if they get down 2 scores, they're just going through the motions. Like, let's be honest. And that's what I kind of expected. Like, they were down 2 scores, and I just expected, like, they're done. They're going to get like a field goal, try to be representative, put up something so it's not a shutout. And they didn't. They fought until the end. They fought for 60 minutes. So if we're going to take 2 things out of this, right? It's your point of growth, and they are fighting. So I think I'm not going to be too harsh on Mike Vrabel yet. I think the culture building is happening slowly but surely. Again, just young team, and I think he's trying to slow walk them to where he's going.
And I don't want my words for anybody listening to be taken as I'm down on Vrabel in the sense of I want a coaching change, and I'm not
No.
on that train. But I'm going to point out what I see. And for 3 weeks, I've seen undisciplined football, and that can't be ignored. But I agree with you, Mike. Right, and I guess right now it's almost like the Ramondre Stevenson thing. You're kind of accepting the undisciplinedness with the culture change of the shift, and hopefully they'll be able to clean up those penalties. But if we start getting to week 14, 15, and those penalties are still happening, those fumbles are still happening, we're not seeing real repercussions.
Right.
You know, I was telling Kate the story, and I cannot remember who the guy is, but I want to say this is like 2016, 2017. Belichick brings this guy in. I think he was working at Walmart, you know, like a typical
like a
Belichick,
Jonas Gray type of thing.
a typical Belichick signing, right? Some guy we don't know. And he comes out to play his first game for the Patriots, and he's fielding a punt. And he fumbles the punt, and he muffs the punt, and the other team takes possession. And I scream at the TV, I want him cut. Like, cut him right now. I want him cut off the team. Like my typical thing.
Yeah.
Anyways, the kid gets benched, doesn't see the rest of the game. The next day, there's an announcement he's been cut from the football team. Like, that's just like, that was a Bill Belichick move. Like, that was just a classic Belichick. Like, you muffed the punt. You can't play special teams. We don't want you. And and I had that feeling with Ramondre Stevenson yesterday. Actually, I think I texted you that he should be clearing his locker out right now, like mid-game.
You did for sure.
And I think that, again, I'll tell you my worry. Typically, a running back acclimatizes to the NFL quicker than other positions.
Yeah.
And I'm not seeing Travion Henderson acclimatize into the NFL at the speed I want him to.
Yeah.
That being said, I was pointed out by somebody that Derrick Henry didn't hit 100 yards until his second, like it was like week 11 of his second season.
Let's see. I have Derrick Henry's stats up because I wanted to compare him to Ramondre Stevenson. So let us see.
When was his first 100 yards game?
Let me see. Rushing. So I want to say it looks like it was. Hold on. Sorry. These are attempts. No, it was that he had, it looks like almost 500 yards in year one.
Yeah, 500, but they're saying his first 100-yard game, like where he rushed for 100 yards, which
I don't have individual games up here. Sorry.
Apparently didn't come until like week 11 of season 2. And then Derrick Henry getting 100 yards per game became just a regular occurrence.
Yeah, he didn't have his first 1,000-yard season until his third year.
Yeah, so you have a little bit of patience, and I get, but I think, you talk about a fight, right? You talk about the fight. I guess what I was disappointed in is Ramondre gets himself benched, Gibson gets himself benched, and Travion Henderson has the opportunity to establish himself as the back. Let's not forget, going into training camp, I don't think they wanted to carry Ramondre Stevenson on this team this year. I think that they wanted Travion Henderson to beat him out as that number one back. He's a home run. He was a home run hitter in college. I followed him with Ohio State.
Right.
He's a home run hitter. 11 carries for 28 yards. Right? Like it's concerning to me, Mike. Like it really is concerning to me. 2.5 yards per carry. Like it's just, I think he had a long of like 8. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. I'm not seeing improvement week after week. I'm seeing improvement from Drake, and I understand rookie to second-year player, but you're seeing improvement week after week. I mean, this defense is night and day from week 1 to week 3, and we still don't have Gonzalez on the field.
Can I make a little bit of an analogy? You
Absolutely.
might understand. So I think, and the reason it might be...
I like how you say this to me like I'm a moron. Let me say it to you.
No, like you'll get it. I don't know if people listening are immediately going to understand. But Travion Henderson to me is like, in Josh McDaniels' offense, he's going to be like the tight end of running backs. They're going to want him to do everything. And I think a lot of that is receiving.
Okay.
So I think that's why it's going to take longer than people expect. I think you might not see a pop till later this year or year two, because they're trying to teach him the aspects of the run game, the pass game, the slot, out wide, backfield, in motion, all kinds of stuff, because I think they honestly just want him to be a weapon everywhere. And generally the rule for tight ends is most of them pop in year two, and that's because they have so much to learn and so much going on that their heads are just spinning half the time. And I think that's kind of where we're at with him.
Fair analysis. We're starting to see that Hunter Henry Drake May connection really come into effect. 8 receptions, 90 yards, couple of TDs for Hunter Henry.
Yep.
I was scared as all heck when I seen him go down to a knee.
Yeah.
And then I think that everybody forgets that you got Austin Hooper kind of sitting behind him in that number 2 spot. Who had a big drop yesterday, by the way.
Yeah, that was
huge drop.
Yeah. And I consider them on the same level. Like, I do not think this is tight end 1 and tight end 2 by like a large margin. Like, these two are generally in the same bracket. Hunter Henry gets more playtime because I think he has the bigger contract, but I think they're generally of the same skill level.
When Austin Hooper was a free agent, the first time he became a free agent, I think he went to the Browns. Is that where he went to?
They traded him.
Yeah, when we knew he was up for grabs.
Yeah, I think they traded him to the Browns. Yeah.
Every Patriots fan on the planet was clamoring for Austin Hooper. We were doing the show at that time.
Yeah.
And I remember just getting inundated with and I was on that page. I'm like, get Austin Hooper. Absolutely. What he did in Atlanta with Matt Ryan and the best team that Matt Ryan ever played on. I mean, it was just absolutely, he looked like a bona fide number 1.
Yeah, I think I was doing like the trade scenarios that year, and I kept saying like, put some trade package together for Austin Hooper.
Yeah, and you kept putting N'Keal Harry in the package, and I kept telling you it's not going to happen. N'Keal Harry in the package. Nobody wants N'Keal Harry.
They'll take him. It's fine.
It's a great blocker. If you want a great blocker, N'Keal Harry. DK Metcalf gets a touchdown yesterday. All I think to myself is Patriots could have drafted him. When I was on Dear Pats Nation, that's all I ever got was the Patriots could have had DK. I mean, I must have had that like 6 times a show. The Patriots could have had DK.
I think they're still missing a DK, but that's probably a conversation for another day.
Well, that's an interesting conversation because let's talk about it because Stephon Diggs, 3 catches for 23 yards. In a game like yesterday, do you think Diggs is going to stay? The Patriots obviously are doing Patriots things. I mean, as much as people talk about Gronk and Edelman, and Brady was a guy who loved to move the ball around the field, and have 6, 7, 8 different guys catching the football, and that's what Drake May is doing. That's obviously a product of Josh McDaniels.
Yep.
Do you think Stephon Diggs is going to stay content with 3 catches for 28 yards?
I think he'll stay content with what they're giving him if they're winning. But they're not winning. So I think those two things go together. I think his volume's going to increase later in the year. I think he still needs to get a little healthier. I think they're babying him. And I think they should use him a little bit more. He should have gotten that pass that Pop Douglas got on that 4th and whatever yesterday. I think Stephon Diggs catches that pass and is big enough to run through some contact for that extra yard. I think, and we just turned this from like DK Metcalf, but I'm going to turn it into more Diggs on the field, a little less to Mario Douglas. I'm not seeing it with the Mario Douglas. He's in year 3. I don't know what's going on between him and Drake May, but put Stephon Diggs in the slot. It's every time he passes Diggs the ball, he just has like those magnets for hands that really good receivers have.
He's a bona fide receiver.
Right. Like Douglas doesn't have that, and I don't know if he's going to get it. I'm not saying Pop is bad. Diggs is just better.
I think Douglas would have fit a Patriots team that had Julian Edelman, Rob Gronkowski, and like Malcolm Mitchell on the team. He could have been the Danny Amendola, the garbage guy, who's going to be wide open because nobody cares about him.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But I'm going to tell you a guy that I do like, and he's not going to be a superstar by any means. He probably won't even be a Patriot next season. But I like Mac Hollins.
Yeah.
I
do
like
too.
what he brings to this team. I think they're talking about on the broadcast yesterday. McDaniels was saying, like, this guy is willing to do anything. He
Yep.
blocks, he goes and catches. He's almost like a better version of N'Keal Harry, of what N'Keal Harry was as a player.
Yeah.
So maybe we could trade him for like a bona fide number one tight end or something out there. But I like what he brings to the team. And what I like is week one, I felt like Drake was really, really, really just zeroed in on Keyshawn Boutte.
Yeah.
Or Boutte, as I like to call him.
Boutte.
Kate. Every time he dude, best call in the world. He was holding the booty. He was
Yep.
holding the booty. JJ Watt couldn't hold it together.
Yeah, it was good.
Shout out to JJ Watt too, referring to his brother as TJ Watt the whole game.
Yeah.
Like that must be tough at times. Like
Yeah.
just but he was really zeroed in on Boutte, and Boutte only had 2 catches, 28 yards yesterday. But there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different ball catchers yesterday.
Yeah.
I think every running back caught a ball. Did they? No. Gibson didn't catch a ball.
I don't think. Did Stevenson catch a ball?
Stevenson was their second most receiving yards.
Oh,
He had
Jesus.
3 catches for 38 yards. Hunter Henry had 8 for 90. Hooper had 2 for 28. Boutte had 2 for 28. Hollins had 4 for 27. Diggs had 3 for 23. Henderson had 3 for 19. Williams had 1 for 8. Douglas
Drake
had
was
2 for
feeling
7.
yesterday. It's so sad. It's so sad.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if they would have won yesterday, we would have been talking about how that was the best game of his career.
Yeah, and
But
the
they're
arrows
not.
pointed nothing but up. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're not because they lost. Like you said, Stephon Diggs will be fine for 3 for 23 if they're winning games.
Right. He doesn't care at this point. At this stage, because I think he's still trying to get healthy. If he was still that guy that could sprint down the field and be like, hey, why am I not? Be a different conversation,
Speaking of Josh McDaniels, shout out to bringing back the fullback. That Josh McDaniels back when there's a fullback in the game.
Yeah, now they just need to get it involved on the goal line and direct snap it to the fullback instead.
Or maybe get an actual fullback as well.
Yeah, that too.
They had a direct snap to the fullback. That was beautiful. Just brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the most Josh McDaniels play I had ever seen. Am I wrong?
No, you're right. That and they've got to sway Brady to come, home from Vegas for a weekend and teach Drake May how to quarterback sneak the football.
Yeah, he's not very good at that.
No,
at all.
Not.
And they don't call it a lot either.
No,
they don't call obvious quarterback sneak friggin' downs, and they're pitching the ball to people.
Oh yeah, on 4th and 1, like multiple times, and this would be the time where it doesn't matter. Brady's gonna get it, and then I'm just gonna watch and pray. It's like, what are they gonna do?
And what's really funny is being from Canada and growing up with the CFL.
Yep.
Quarterback sneaks are a given. You could run a quarterback sneak, Mike.
Right. Yeah.
Because anything that was 3-down football here, but for my American audience, we'll say 4th down, but in Canada it's 3 downs, right? 3rd down and 1. The defensive line has to line up a yard off the ball. Right? So it's a guaranteed like first down.
Yeah, that's
so growing up watching Canadian and playing Canadian football, where a quarterback sneak on a short yardage was almost a given. And then I don't think I actually ever really appreciated what we had in Tom Brady doing quarterback sneaks.
no, because you were used to it.
I thought that was just every quarterback could run for 1 yard. Dude, I played an entire game of Madden once where all I did was quarterback sneak. Like that was my whole play. And I ran off some busted off some 12-yard runs on quarterback sneaks. But 4 for 5 on 4th down yesterday. Really ballsy call. That pitch call on their own 15-yard line.
Yeah.
They go for it. it's funny because I was sitting there going because they went for fourth down last week. They did it against the Raiders. Like they've gone for it on fourth down.
Yeah.
And being you know me, I was always going crazy. Like Belichick never went for it on fourth down.
When he should have.
Yeah, I mean, he would do it a little bit more with Brady, but after Brady, never went for it on fourth down.
Never.
And it drove me freaking crazy. Then I find out that Vrabel's more conservative than Belichick by statistics. He only goes for 15% of the time or something.
Yeah,
which is so it's funny to see him go for it that much. But yeah, I mean, you look at the Patriots, 369 total yards yesterday, 14 points.
Not good enough.
4 for 5 on fourth downs, but 6 for 13 on third down. So they need to improve their third down efficiency, obviously.
Yeah, that's again, and that's the little if I was to, and again, this is the most minor of nitpicks from Josh McDaniels, and I don't know if it's really his fault or what he's dealing with. And this is what I was going to kind of say with the DK comment, is I don't know if they have anybody that can get down the field and really open it up. And that's what they're missing, right? Because everybody knows that the furthest Drake is going to go is 20 yards right now. And that is really limiting them, the ability to open up the field. Because if they could open up the field, then you'd see a guy like Pop get open. Then you'd see a guy like Travion be available, in different formations. Teams are just condensing it right now or putting a guy on top of Booty because he's the only one who can seem to get down the field.
So I'm getting really excited for Gonzalez to come back. The Patriots are second in the league. They're second in the league for pass or for rush defense.
Yeah.
Second in the league. 29th for pass. And I'm excited to have Gonzalez back because if you can stop the run and force people into to pass like they have been.
Yep.
And now you have Gonzalez on the field. This defense is only going to get better when he's back. And I'm really happy to see them second in run defense because last year I think they were 31st or something. They were horrible. They were Swiss cheese.
Yeah, it was
awful. That was when Gerard Mayo came out and did his whole nobody's tough on this team. And Belichick did his whole little they were all on my team the year before, and those are some of the toughest players I know, which was true. Was true. There was a lack of accountability in the Gerard Mayo locker room, and we know that.
Right.
And but let's spend the next couple of minutes talking about the old days, shall we, Mike?
Now that we've spent 47 minutes on the offense and Drake May, let's do it.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about the defense. Shout out to the defense. I mean, maybe because the defense is just so good. They were phenomenal yesterday. I think I started with that.
Yep.
Again, I want to throw a big shout out to Harold Landry. I want to throw a big shout out to Robert Spillane. Two most underrated players and two best leaders in that. People probably don't know this because it went out of bounds, but Harold Landry forced a fumble yesterday. The Patriots almost recovered that.
Yeah,
it's I find he has one or two huge plays a game. I don't know if they had a sack yesterday.
Milton Williams and Christian Barmore too have been wreaking a lot of havoc.
They have, and that's the thing. They're not recording this. They didn't. I don't think they recorded a sack yesterday.
I think Barmore might have.
No, he had one. Barmore had one tackle yesterday.
Okay,
but they hit Aaron Rodgers a lot. Aaron Rodgers was getting off the ground a lot after throwing the ball, and when you can disrupt the running back, that's the thing. With the way they're getting to the quarterback, with the way they're stopping the run, when Christian Gonzalez comes back and really steadies that secondary, this defense is going to give the Patriots a chance. We started this season before week 1. And I said to you, it's an 8-win team at best.
Mm-hmm.
What I saw yesterday is if they can play a little bit more discipline and hang on to the football, I really thought they were going to get blown out yesterday, even without the fumbles. I thought what Aaron Rodgers has been doing to teams, I thought they're just going to boom, 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 boom. Their defense, I think you nailed it with their offense is capable and their defense is good. They actually have, I'm willing to say they have a good defense. And I think when Gonzalez comes back, it'll almost be a great defense.
Yeah.
I have confidence now. Let's put it this way. The Patriots may only win 5 games this year, but I don't fear Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills with this defense. I don't.
No, especially if you watched the game they played against Miami last week. The Bills can be had. I don't know if it's going to be by the Patriots, but the Bills can be had. They're painting Josh Allen in this Brady light right now because he's had really a phenomenal 2 games and they had a really good 3rd game, but that team can be had overall.
Oh yeah, I didn't think they played phenomenally great against the Dolphins.
No.
At all. And I just think that there is such a desire to put disrespect on Patrick Mahomes' name that people are clinging on to the Josh Allen thing. Josh Allen to me is Peyton Manning and Aaron Rodgers to Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And everybody was looking for the guy who's better than Tom Brady. And they were.
Yeah.
Everybody was looking for it. It was either Peyton was better or Rodgers was better or Drew Brees was better. Like they were always pointing to somebody, Roethlisberger. Like they're always trying to find the guy who was going to knock the Brady off the pedestal and the team that was going to knock the Patriots off the pedestal. The reality is the Chiefs will probably be in the AFC Championship game this year. I'm not going to say they're going to be in the Super Bowl, but they had a really good 4th quarter yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Looked a little bit more like the Kansas City Chiefs. And good teams.
By the way.
How many times in the first 4 weeks did we think, okay, this is it. The dynasty is over. The dynasty's done. And then they win the Super Bowl.
Yeah. No, I'm not putting the Chiefs out of it because you just illustrated it. We've seen this movie so many times. Brady's washed. This team's no good. They're going to need a year or 2 to rebuild. Again, to your point, they may not win the Super Bowl. The Patriots didn't win the Super Bowl for a decade, but they were in it every single year.
I think the Patriots went to like 10 straight AFC Championship games or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think that the Chiefs will probably be there again. The only difference between Kansas City and the Patriots is Kansas City have lost more Super Bowls than the Patriots did in the condensed time space.
Yeah.
However, I think they've gone to more than the Patriots did in condensed time space. The Patriots only went to 3 and then 4.
Yeah, 3 and then 4.
Yeah. And then they had a couple in between, obviously, some guy named Eli. Eli Apple, I think, was the quarterback.
Something like that.
Was that his name? I just love, too, that Eli Manning.
Asante Samuel,
But I just love that Eli Manning and, like, Tom Brady, like, they know how to market that ish.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, the two of them, like, they know how. And you know deep down, like, behind the scenes, they're probably buddies, like Peyton and Brady are buddies. And I just think they just know how to... Like, this is marketable.
Especially Eli. Like, Brady, that's the thing. Like, Brady probably doesn't care much anymore, you know? But, like, look at Eli. Like, he's in tons of commercials and all this stuff. He wouldn't be otherwise. And why is that? Because every once in a while he goes, yeah, I'm Tom Brady's daddy. He's built a post-NFL career on that.
Absolutely. And Brady throws him a bone and says, Eli.
Yeah.
And, you know, off you go. Okay, let's take a blast from the past, though. My boy, my dog is named Jules. And who is Jules named after?
Like a Queen's jewel?
No, I actually named her after a squirrel.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. The squirrel?
The squirrel.
So
Saturday, Julian Edelman gets inducted into the Patriots Hall of Fame. Tom Brady's not there.
Dick.
No video message from Bill Belichick.
I'm not surprised.
So everybody on the planet, I was getting a laugh. So I'm on X, as I do. And somebody makes a comment about, like, you know, the entire world showed up for Tom Brady. You think that Brady could have showed up for Julian Edelman. And I kind of agreed.
Yeah.
The responses after that is like, What about Bill Belichick? Not even a video message. Like blah 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 blah.
Are you shocked? Was anybody really shocked by that?
I was gonna say, do you think that they even asked Belichick?
Not at this point. Not after what's gone on in like the last month. They probably wanted to. Although he's probably also like scared of like Parcells too, like psychologically. So maybe that's why he wanted nothing to do with it.
Say Bill Parcells gets in the Hall of Fame. I think they've squashed all their beef though, right? Didn't they do that whole thing, Bill and Bill, that documentary?
Yeah, probably, but it's still like the same thing as like, when the big dog is around and like pees on something, the little dog like kind of gets scared. Like
Yeah, maybe.
Parcells still has that big dog energy.
Yeah, I just watched it and just thought, I don't even know. It wouldn't surprise me if Kraft was like, I don't fucking want him on my on my $1 billion jumbotron. And I could see Bill Belichick calling Jules and being like, "Hey, listen, I'm proud of you going in the Hall of Fame, but there's no way that I'm gonna, be a part of this ceremony and whatever." And
all in all seriousness, he's probably, I got football today, and you were a great. What did you play? Stuff quarterback. Yeah, you did a good job. You did your job.
You did your job.
From the office of Bill Belichick.
Yeah. And it was like his secretary just talking in it. No, I think the beef between the Patriots and Belichick has run so deep that he wasn't involved. But shout out to Julian Edelman. Well deserved to be a Hall of Famer. Needed to be one of those guys that was in almost immediately. I think that I do believe there needs to be there's a Brady statue. Mm-hmm. There needs to be a Belichick statue. Like whether Kraft likes it or not, there needs to be.
Kraft actually said it a couple weeks ago. He plans for there to be a Bill statue. So let's see if they squash that beef by the time Bill is done coaching. We'll see.
There has to be, and I think that there should be an Edelman statue of the catch.
Oh, the 51 catch.
Yeah, I absolutely believe there should be that. To me, that catch to me solidified Tom Brady's legacy. If the Patriots lose that game,
yeah, he loses 4-3.
Brady doesn't have his fifth.
Yeah.
The deterioration of the Patriots might come quicker.
Yep.
I don't know if Tampa's ready for Brady at that time. So where does he end up? What team does he end up going to? I think that the Edelman catch had as much to do with the Patriots and Tom Brady's legacy as anything. And I think he deserves. I really do. I really think Julian Edelman. I think he's got the most playoff receptions or something, or second behind Jerry Rice.
Now, second most.
Yeah,
I think, yeah,
behind Jerry Rice.
It might be behind Travis Kelce now too, so he might be third.
Fair enough.
But either way, we know what door you're knocking down.
What I'm going to say is the Patriots. Everybody talks about how the best player Tom Brady ever played with was Rob Gronkowski. That's what everybody says. I mean, it was Randy Moss, but people say Gronkowski because it's a lot of 16-year-olds who talk to me about the Patriots and don't know who Randy Moss is. Here's what I'm going to say. With Rob Gronkowski on the field as an active starter, Tom Brady is 2 for 2. 2 for 3 in the Super Bowl. 3 for 2.
You're including Tampa now.
Yes, 3 for 2. 2 for 2 as a Patriot.
And I'm going to say that he sealed that Tampa Super Bowl as much as it pains me.
Yeah, but he was 3 for 2 with Rob Gronkowski on the field.
Yep.
He was 3 for 1, 3-0
with Julian.
0-1 without Julian on the field.
Shows you how the McDaniels offense really works too, doesn't it?
It really does. You can win 2 Super Bowls without Rob Gronkowski. Or one. Well, he won 3 obviously without him.
Yeah.
And then 1 without him. And I think that, again, it just comes back to, and you and I talked about this a few weeks ago, we're not going to get into the whole dynasty thing, but talking about Julian Edelman as Julian Edelman, because this is who the tribute's for. Julian Edelman was so important to that New England team during that stretch, not just by what he was on the field. When we talk about the tension in the locker room and everything breaking apart, was the year that Edelman was out with his knee injury.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that Julian Edelman was the spark plug of that team. I'm screaming at him, it's going to be a hell of a story. We got to do it for your mom, you know? And I think that, but his example was on the field. His example was off the field. He practiced hard. He fought hard. He was rightfully terrified of Bill Belichick. And I actually love now listening to the Dudes podcast with him and Gronk.
Because CTE's really caught up with Gronk.
It has. But I also give Gronk a lot of credit because I always thought that I thought he was like a Danny Amendola when it came to Belichick.
Yeah.
And he's not. Like he says a lot of complimentary things. But my favorite part was after the Brady roast. And all Belichick did was like talk about how crappy of a season Amendola had with the Patriots. And he's like, he looks at Gronk, he's like, why is he always like shitting on me? And he's like, I don't know, maybe because all you've done is smack talk the guy.
Yeah, that's great.
But no, Julian Edelman is such a part of this dynasty. And I think that modern history is erasing him.
Yeah.
I do. I believe that. And I blame a lot of the Patriots fan base for this. We are so hyper fixated on who was more responsible, Tom Brady or Bill Belichick, that we forget the impact that Julian Edelman, Super Bowl MVP, had on the Patriots and on and off the field. And I think he's well deserving of wearing that red jacket. And I want to say a Patriot for life.
Yeah.
And when that dude had a chance to go to Tampa, I think if Julian Edelman would have approached Belichick and said, I want to go to Tampa with Tom, I think he would have sent him.
Yep, I agree. And
he said no. Like once a Patriot, always a Patriot. And that guy stuck with the Patriots to the end. True New England Patriot. I'm proud that my dog's name is Jules. I wore my number 11 yesterday in the throwback Reds. Obviously didn't bring great luck, but Kate wore the Brady blue, number 12. So I had the Brady Edelman connection going. And yes, obviously the conversation on the dynasty is always going to be Belichick and Brady.
Yeah.
But Julian Edelman has to be a big part of that conversation.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think even if it wasn't just Edelman, if you had like a statue of like contributors, like let's say you put like 3 defensive contributors and 3 offensive contributors and like meshed them into a statue and then just had like a list, I think that would be great.
I'm throwing 54.
D high, baby.
I think when you think of the second half of the Patriots dynasty, it goes obviously Belichick, Brady on the mountain, even.
Yeah.
Underneath, Edelman, Gronk on the offensive side.
Yep.
I don't think there was maybe like a Nate Solder, like some of the unsung heroes on the offensive line.
That would be something cool, yeah.
Yeah, like Nate Solder, obviously. I think Kostowski, I know his last year with the Patriots, he was starting to go, but he was like the most consistent kicker in the NFL up until that year.
Yeah. Well, you know what would be cool?
I think he has the most points scored ever. Like he had the most points scored ever for a Patriot.
I'm going to go off on a little tangent here, but this would fit into the whole like team thing. You have the statue of Brady and Belichick and then have like one of those murals surround them of all
the important contributors.
Yeah, all the big time contributors over the 20 years. I think that would be really, really cool.
So I think offensively you got to have like Nate Solder.
Yep.
I think Joe Tooney.
Yep.
I think David Andrews.
Yeah, he was good. He was kind of the linchpin at the end there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then Edelman, Gronk. I honestly, this might sound crazy, but James Devlin, I think, especially that last season. James White, obviously, has to be there. I'm going to put Shane Vereen in that mix.
Ooh.
And I'm going to put LeGarrette Blount As a part,
What about Corey Dillon?
too far. I'm talking second half of Dynasty.
Okay.
We'll work on the first Dynasty next show.
All right, fair enough.
So that's my offense. Defense, D-Mac, obviously. Devin McCourty, captain, needs to be there. High, my favorite Patriot of all time, has to be there. I think Trey Flowers has to be there.
Kyle Van Noy.
I think Kyle Van Noy and Rob Ninkovich need to be there. I think Kyle Van Noy, when he got brought in, was the next piece that brought the Patriots to the level. There's another name I'm going to put out here defensively that people might think I'm crazy, but I think he deserves Jamie Collins. I think from his forget how he left the Patriots the first time, his contribution to the first Super Bowl to when he came back the second time and the contribution he put in, I think Jamie Collins is there. Vince Wilfork obviously needs to be there, like probably standing beside Brady, in the mural. And I'm trying to think of other defensive players. I'm not going to put Revis. That was 1 year.
No, 1 year. Gilmore, obviously, you said that.
Stephon Gilmore, who needs to be cut after his fourth game for the Patriots. Yeah. Stephon Gilmore needs to be there. Matthew Slater, special teams wise, needs to be there.
If anything, I would put Slater like right in the middle. You want to talk about a glue guy? Probably held that whole thing together on both sides.
Yeah, Matt Slater needs to be there. I'm going to throw Joe Cardona in there, longtime long snapper who I don't think people realize how important the kicking game is until the kicking game sucks. And Cardona was just a very consistent long snapper for the Patriots. Yeah. And then, there's a smattering of other guys, but I don't like Chandler Jones, but I think,
Yeah, it didn't really. I feel like it didn't last long enough.
Well, he left at basically the same time as Jamie Collins, but Jamie Collins came back, and that's why I have him kind of there.
Right.
Again, Martellus Bennett was only here for one season, so I don't know.
Yeah, a bunch of those guys too, right? Like, what's his name? Long. Then he went to the Eagles and won a Super Bowl.
Howie Long's kid.
Yeah.
But those were just, again, and he's the one who drew the holding call against the Falcons to knock them out of field goal range after Matt Ryan took the sack. So there's a lot of guys
Chris Long.
There was a lot of guys who came in and had, but when you talk about the sort of tenured guys, I think the list I just made is the list that you need to put there. Anyways, we're 7 minutes over. My back is sore. I'm done. Thanks for tuning in, Dear Pats Nation. We're here every Monday at 10 p.m. live on YouTube. Going to do this for the rest of the season. And then we won't be live every day after the season, but we'll have periodic scheduling. I think monthly, maybe we could do a monthly thing and,
we'll keep it alive.
Lead up to the draft, but no more of reading the same story night after night, just trying to make stories, trying to make.
No, we're not going to be one of those channels. Nope.
You can find us on YouTube, find us on TikTok. We have an Instagram page, but I don't know the login or password. We have a Twitter page, but I don't know the login or password.
It's still a work in progress, guys. We're just having fun
getting
right
there.
now.
Just be here. Just have fun. It's I need you guys to do a few more things for me. Give me a few more shares, a few more interact. I got 2 sponsors that want us, but I have to prove something to them. I haven't been able to prove it yet. So I just like it. Share it. Mike, share it with your friends. Tell them to share it with their friends. Dear Pats Nation is back.
So I have to tell you to share it?
All right, I will share it. And until next time, Mike, tell me about those Patriots.
They're going to be legit, kid.
Dear Pats Nation, it's just about time. Yeah, we're back. It's Dear Pats Nation. Yeah. It's Dear Pats Nation. Come on. Yeah, it's Dear Pats Nation. And the show starts in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, buddy. Good.